really delighted to see some old friends and see some new ones. So I'll tell you what today is all about for me. I'm starting up a new series of online iPad classes, and I've got a few places left. I take up to 20 people for these intro classes because it works out, and we've just finished one round. Last night we finished the first round of 5 weeks. It's been really successful. But I was thinking, and I've got some places open if you're interested, but what I specifically was thinking about for myself was that there tends to be a little bit of a division between digital painters and, traditional painters. I'm both. Right now, I'm actually working more with traditional. In fact, I'm not working entirely in oils right now, but I was obsessed with digital for quite a long while. So I feel that I know the relationship between the two. And I think there's a very, very strong relationship and a reason why traditional artists should start or learn at least to use the basic tools available to them in digital, because they can be of tremendous help. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about my own journey, and then show you an example of how I use digital currently. I use it both as a tool for myself, but I also use it as a tool with my painter classes, people who are painting and just drawing traditionally, and I use it as a critiquing tool, and it's very, very useful. So like just a little bit of personal journey. I trained in England too long ago to think about as a painter. And I, like many people, sort of stopped painting, got a family, had to make some money, ended up in advertising, so on and so forth. And then ended up back to kind of like traditional, but painting sets in, scenic painting in Hollywood. And many painters end up doing that because it gives you a chance to kind of do some big stuff in acrylic. And then my son gave me an iPad, and in 2012, and I just became obsessed. And it got me back to, first of all, to drawing. And I find it very interesting that Dave Hockney, who at that time, people might remember, there was a big exhibition of his work at the De Young, showing both his digital and obviously his work, which spans many different media. But he had made the comment, he said, "Isn't it funny that it took an iPhone to get us back to drawing?" And in a lot of the schools, factually, the actual technique of drawing, like the idea of drawing, had fallen out. And it was the iPad and the iPhone and the fact that we could draw on our phones that brought drawing right back in as a big subject, which it is for me personally. So what I found is over the next 5 years, I literally went on this crazy exploration of nobody could sort of, what is your art form? What is it all? I don't know. I just was going down every avenue, every rabbit hole that I could possibly find. And it was the most exciting journey. And it finalized in a big exhibition in 2018. And I just, that I was done with my iPad as my main form of communication. And I went back to drawing, gouache, then acrylic, and now back to oil. So I still teach iPad, I still use it, and to me, it's seamless between the three of, between these different mediums. I wanted to talk to you about that because I hope, if you hands up, if any of you watching me, and you can put your hand up, would consider that your main media would be traditional media, like watercolor, drawing, oil, or whatever. Okay, good. So I'm talking to the right audience. Good. So I really feel very strongly that learning to be able to do the rudimentary things on your iPad is of huge value to you as an artist. I know some people that are watching could absolutely attest to that because they've been down that journey. Cheryl, I know I see you there, and you can put your hand out and say hi. But Cheryl is definitely, you probably can't see her, but anyway, she definitely is one person that's been down this this journey with me and is learning a lot. And here's what the iPad does for me as an artist. If I get, for me, every artwork is a battle. It's never, just, oh, yay, I'm just going to do art. And then it's all just easy and solved, just like that. Usually when I start a painting, I'm setting myself some kind of, there are problems that I'm going to have to overcome. And I hit right into those problems, and there could be many solutions. And that's where I might use my iPad, because I can take a photograph of my artwork and put it into my iPad, and I use an app called Procreate. And then I might try different things, like I just don't, I'm not happy with something. I can put it in there, and the most extraordinary things happen. You kind of can step outside the box. I can do things that I wouldn't be able to do with my oil paint, because it would take ages to dry, and I might be a crazy idea, and what if I do this way or that way? So I just thought the best way to do it would be to maybe give you a couple of examples, and then we could go from there. So I'm now going to share my iPad shortly. And that's really going to be the bulk of what we're going to talk about. I just show you different ways that you can use this amazing tool to solve what are, just basically artistic problems. So what I'm going to do right off is I'll just show you here. I made a little pixels and paint, and you can see a journey through a painting that I'm currently working on, not done with it. So this particular painting actually began with me looking out of my window, and I just need to go actually back to my just regular photos here. Oh gosh, it's always so difficult to go to photos and these things. Okay, so this will be amongst, but I looked out of my window, and this is a view out of my window. And I thought, that'll make a great, I really want to do a picture of my granddaughter standing in there. I don't know, it just could have hit me. So, and I can see this out of my window. This is what I see. And so I grabbed her and I said, would you mind just walking through? And so I just took a bunch of photographs of her walking through, here you go, like different things, doing different things. I just she'd just come back in the car. And I said, just walk through and do different things. And just, inspiring me a little bit. The thing that really had gotten to me is that this color, I'm crazy about these things. I just think they're amazing. So that was my inspiration. And I just took some photographs just to kind of, I don't have to have the photographs because I can see outside, but I just took them. And so then, I thought about it. And so now I'm going to go back here to my pixels and paint. So then I'll sit down, this is sort of super late at night, and I've got my sketchbook, and I made some sketches of possible ways in which I could do this painting that I had in my head. And, so this was the painting that I decided I wanted to do. So then I've got an 18 by 24 canvas, and I just, I'm working with oil. It's water-based oil, water-soluble oil, Winsor & Newton. And so I did my drawing like this, so that's my drawing. I started adding, a couple of days later, started adding some more color to it. Started sort of just gradually adding color in, just gradually kind of creating. Now then, I wasn't sure where I wanted to go with this. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, whether I wanted, so I put it into my iPad. And in my iPad, this is where, I could sort of work. Do I want this to go here? Do I want to end it here? Like, so I could sort of solve some problems that I had with how with my composition and with color variations. If I want to go dark to light, etc. And this color here. I personally have had a lot of trouble getting this brilliance, which I can easily get in an iPad, but I can't get with my oils. Never mind, that's another problem. But, you know, so this is very rough sketch, just not even, it's just fast, you know, just putting it in, making some color notes, going back to my painting. And then finally, that's another one. I think this is the final version. So you see, I've moved this down here. I've put this in up here. You can see that, and I'm working on these and I'm still working it. I'm not finished yet, but I just thought that might be of use to you in seeing how I might work one way to the other. I have one other variation that I wanted to show you. This again, this is just close by to me. This is Vallejo Street, right at the very top of Green Street in San Francisco, where I live. And I went by and loved this view, and I got to paint this. I love it. And you know, I'm walking up there with my, you know, my mask on and everything. Took a picture, put this picture into an app called Snapseed, and adjusted it, and came out with this. And then I want to have a person up here, because I'm kind of like really very much into these solitary figures at this point. You know, it's kind of like art in isolation, and I feel it's like aloneness, but it's not loneliness, is my current message. And I'm just sort of obsessed with. So I had my granddaughter come up with me, and I had her stand in various, I said, you know, go out, and she managed to get into this, stand there, and took some photographs just so I kind of would get the perspective right. So then again, I did some drawings before I did this. I think I might have it here. I did it, yeah, that's the drawing I did, see? And so that's, again, this is sort of based on a photograph, kind of loosely. Then I'm into painting my picture. Then I'm into painting it. And then this had a lot of, I was very, very unhappy about this front part. It just was not going. So I put it into literally my iPhone. This is so rudimentary. And I went, you know, why don't I just go crazy and put a really bright color in there? And I did, and I went, I like it much better. It just hangs together better. I'm going to do it. I closed my eyes and just dumped, you know, some color in there. Not happy with it. You know, it continued, but then finally I got it to how I wanted it. And this is my final painting. Really happy with it. So, you know, this happened, but it was through this journey, with my iPad, that I could actually arrive at that. So I'm going to stop my sharing, and then if anybody's got that's just a personal journey. So that's mine. Now, I just also wanted to show you as a critiquing tool, something that I did with a student who's actually an iPad student, but it doesn't really matter. He's just an art student, really. So he came to me and he sent me this picture here. And he sent me these two pictures. So he had done this picture here on his iPad. And the picture.
Caroline, sorry to interrupt. Is this Procreate?
Yes.
Okay, so we're in Procreate, and okay, so you're going to show us kind of how to kind of work it.
Yeah, I've got a lot of different layers here. So okay. He sent me this. This was the picture he wanted to copy or emulate. That was his inspiration. And this is what he'd come up with. So I was able to take him back to this original picture, and I was able to examine the picture using the this color. These are the actual, you know, my color picker. I could actually examine the picture, the colors in the picture here that the artist had used. I could find what the pure hues were that the artist had used, and I could then break it down to this trilogy of colors, which is actually a perfect triad mixture, okay, of colors, with an addition of these. This is everything in that picture falls into these three categories. these are the pictures colors he'd used. You can see that they're just arbitrary. So I redid the painting, just only allowing these 3 colors and the addition of this more slightly brighter yellow. This is a greeny yellow-green. And so I took him through the possibility of doing this painting just using these different colors and we broke them down and we rebuilt the painting. This is very fast, done with my fingers because but you can see, I mean, obviously he's got a different size canvas or shaped canvas, but you can see that, and he learned a lot from this about color and how color mixes. So this was fascinating to him. Like, it was a huge, goal for him to be able to learn. And he learned about color. He learned about, a lot about the color wheel and how things, that color is very much like music. It has chords, it has things that go together and don't go together, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to stop sharing. And this is what I will do a lot. I have one other one here. I'll show you how I use it. For example, this painter here, this is very rough. So she sent me this painting. And this is how far she got. This is actually a painting she's doing on acrylic painting. And she sent it to me. And so, I can do this and say, well, what about if we do this and this? And let's just stick with the colors we've got rather than add something new. And how does it look? So as a making tool, it's useful. Yes.
So you're able to analyze these colors on Procreate?
Yep.
Okay.
And I can rapidly show alternate versions of what we might do, and then just send that to them so that they can do it. So I'm going to stop sharing now.
Actually, don't do that yet. There's a question. Okay. So could you show a couple specific examples of how you use Procreate to do the things that you're talking about?
Yeah. So I'll do that right now. So I have to share again. So let's, I will open up a painting that I'm working on here. Let me say, this is one that I'm working on. And let's say this is actually an earlier version of this painting. Let's say, let me just get the more recent version, sorry. So then I can find this painting, I take a photograph of it. My most recent, oh, I don't have the most recent one, never mind. Okay, so let's take this one. I'll just give you, for example. And this is how far I've gotten. This is some roses. And, one of the things I was sort of solving with this painting was this particular line down the middle. And maybe I want to bring another color in. Maybe I want to increase. So I then can add a layer on top. I can find the color that I'm using by tap and hold. And now I can examine that color. And I could even create a palette for that color. And I could then keep that color on here. So I've kept that color. And then I'm going to go to the original color. So this is the actual, right up here. This is the pure hue. And this is how all color is created. It's hue, saturation, and brightness. And then I'll look at this color I've got here. And I'll put it up here. And then again, I'll go right up to this bright version. And I'll go, okay, those are two of the colors I'm using. This is another one. And that's it. So this is basically where I'm at. So I've kind of got, I can obviously see here, I got a bit of a split complementary palette happening. I could even go here and I can look at, this is color harmony, and I can see my split complementaries, and I could see different colors that I might, So I've pretty much got a split complementary, see, because I've got the bluey green and the, yeah, so I'm right in there. I've got the red, the orange, and the green. I mean, sorry, the red, the turquoise, and the green. So I've definitely got a split complementary palette there. Do you see that? So I can answer that question. Then I go, well, maybe I want to change this and I want to go to a triadic. You know, maybe there's a color I can add in. These are questions, and then, well, what would happen if I got that color here and I went to this color now, and I put, whoops, sorry, I went to this color, and I'm going to put some of this color in and see if it works. This triad color. Oh yeah, I kind of like it. And I can answer all these different questions, you see, for myself. You know, if I add some of this, is it gonna help the painting any? Is it gonna be better? Is it gonna be worse? Should I put some up here? Like, I'm just playing right now. I can do that. I can make all of these different journeys very rapidly if I'm sick of the painting and I'd like to just break out altogether. You know, I can look at different variations. I can look at different handlings. I can look at different things. I could also take the painting itself into an app called Snapseed here, and I can open it up in Snapseed here. So let me find it. And there it is. And I can do some crazy things with it. I can just sort of go out of the, you know, I can go I can look at it in curves, and, you know, I can do wild things if I'm sick of it. Maybe I'm going to get some inspiration by just kind of looking at it in a different way altogether. I'm not being serious about this. I'm just showing you, I have done something like that. If I'm absolutely sick of something and it's just boring the hell out of me, I'll just put it in Procreate or Snapseed, and I'm going to stop sharing. And I just like look at it in a completely different way. And it really helps me as an artist. I can go down different roads. I can go down a rabbit hole, and I've still got my painting sitting there. So that's how I use it. I also use it as a way, I call this, I also use it with my drawings, where I'll take my drawings and put them into Procreate or Snapseed and put other things on top of them. Yes, go ahead.
She needs to unmute herself. Yeah. I can't see. Can you call the name?
Mary, can you unmute yourself?
Is it Mary? What's the?
Yeah. Yes. Hi. Question.
Me?
Question from Mary.
Well, Carolyn, I don't have iPad. I only have my Surface Pro, which is PC based. So I've never bought any of these apps because I went, oh, I'm just not going to be able to understand. But is that true? Would I be able to purchase the app Procreate for a PC based laptop?
It's not PC based, but you can get some very good apps that are PC based. And there's one called Sketch Club. There's a lot of them, you know, very, very good on a Surface Pro. Unfortunately, the class I teach is Procreate, and that's right now only for iOS. You can also buy, by the way, iPads quite inexpensively right at this particular point in time. There's an iPad, and I just got one. It's just called the iPad 8th generation. It's like $325. That might seem too much, but it's just not, it's a far cry from the $1,000 that it costs you to get a Pro. You don't need a Pro, and it works with the Apple Pencil, which is absolutely amazing because it's palm resistant, so you can put your hand right on the screen, and it's also just like a pencil, like a real pencil, so it's pressure sensitive, so you can be light or dark with it, so it just feels more and more. And there's now apparently a little screen cover you can get called It's called a paper-like, which just feels like paper, because a lot of people have a problem on an iPad because it's glassy and you just sort of go all over the place. Anyway, all those things can be solved. But you can buy an iPad 8th gen for about $300, if not cheaper on, you know, just if you go to one of these other sites. And that
Best
works.
Buy is having a sale right now, $80 off.
Amazing. So, and it's totally, completely, you can run anything on it. You don't need the big fat one, the big expensive one. And it works with the first generation pencil, which I think is probably less expensive now because it was replaced by second gen. And this is the one that works with it. Don't buy the second generation, because I did, and this is the one it works with. Perfectly adequate, quite inexpensive. And then you can also, if you have an iPhone, you can also run Procreate on your iPhone very, very effectively. I do a lot of sketching, and I use my iPhone for sketches.
Really?
Would you like to see that?
Yes, I
Okay,
would, because
so
I have an iPhone.
I love my digital. That is usually where a lot of my work comes, is from my iPhone. And I love it as a very fast tool to draw with. So I'm going to, okay with you guys if I share? Am I going over time now? You have to warn me. I mean, I'll yak on for it.
So you are over time, but it's your time. So if you want to give it to us, we'll happily take it.
So guys, if you want to leave me, I won't be upset. But if you want to stick with me, I'll just show you.
Also, I'm going to say that if you do need to leave because you have another obligation, I'm recording this presentation and I'm happy to send it to you. Just send me an email with the request and I will send it to you. My email, Ally, A-L-Y, @pacificartleague.org. So if you got to go, no worries. I'll send it to you.
So you can see that right in my front, I have my Procreate Pocket, it's called, and I have Snapseed, and I use both of them intermittent all the time. So this is my Snapseed. You can see right in here, actually, this was a final painting that I did. I ended up doing a painting, which is totally different, but this is representation of what I was painting. This is inside my room. And my lovely, I've got 3 of these windows, and I just very rapidly did this. I just wanted to do a picture that was just the pure color that I saw. I was really fascinated by the relationship between outside and inside. So I very rapidly, before I even started the final painting is quite different than this, but this was my takeoff. This was like my beginning. And I kind of like it anyway, as a painting, but as a digital, and I may well do just a pure digital painting out of this. So that is one. This is another version of the same thing. You can see the 3 ones, and I just wanted to put pure colors and just see what happened with it. And it's just an experiment. These are drawings done of trees outside my window up in a house in Truckee. My son has a house there up in the mountains, and they just came back from there. And this is another one that I just did, you know, just literally just staring out of the window. And then here you can see this is actually, this is, I can't remember what this is. I think it's a bit of fabric, and I had adjusted it, and I look into it and I do different things, and then I just did a kind of little drawing there, little painting, kind of crazy. This here, this is kind of funny. This again is in the woods, up in where's that place where we all, oh golly, you know, the big, what's it called?
North Star? North Star?
No, way north. Yeah, you know, Yosemite. We went, we were camping there. My only time ever camping. And this was my color take. I did a lot of paintings after that, but this was just on my phone. I just wanted to capture some color that I felt, you know, so that was that one.
Now, Caroline, can you use an Apple Pencil with the iPhone?
No.
No, so you're using your finger.
one that ended up as a painting. It was, we were staying down in this lovely house and looking down at the sea in, you know, White Big Sur. And it ended up as a painting, which is on my website. You'll see it. This is just color, just different colors that I felt. This is, you know, sitting on the, a friend sitting there, you know, we're looking out to sea. And then this is me getting bored, getting my feet done. And I just got taken by some color. I got taken by it. So I just sat and put it on my iPhone. You can see many, and then different apps. Like this is another app that I love painting with. If I can find it. No, that's my Netflix. Right in here. Okay, so this is one I love called ArtSat. And here I do a lot of just, you know, that this was in, you know, just waiting in line for my coffee. And I just sort of did that. It's just, I love ArtSat. It's beautiful, beautiful app. This is a woman that struck me. She was in the bus, and I was on the bus in San Francisco, which is where I live. I just did that little drawing of her as we were going along. This was like a kind of a wild thing, as being bored at somebody's exhibition. So you can just see different things. Yeah, I'm pretty done. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay, I need you to stop playing with your Pokemon cards.
Oh.
Your activities.
What's that now?
No, it's just it's just some feedback.
Oh,
that's funny. Well, thank you, Caroline. Again, if anyone has any other questions, they probably can email you directly. Correct?
Absolutely. And if you'd like to join my class, I'd love to have you. It starts tomorrow or it's on Monday, and you can sort of go between. Bye.
And you also have, I know that you also have some workshops coming up, which are kind of exciting.
I'll tell you a couple of things. I'm doing a workshop. It's a Friday night on the 15th of May. I'm doing an art and wine workshop. I decided to do it. So you can bring the wine glasses, and we're going to have a couple of hours, hour and a half, couple of hours. And I'm going to do a thing called everyday abstraction. And I will be using, anybody can come in, just bring your phone, anything. You can bring your, it can be anything. You can bring any type of tablet, because Snapseed, the app Snapseed, will go on to any type of tablet. And we're going to go down the rabbit hole and have a huge amount of creative fun. And I'm going to show you some amazing journeys that you can go on just using Snapseed. And so I have that coming. In mid-June, I'm doing I can't remember, maybe it's the end of May, I'm doing a workshop.
Yeah, they're all on our website.
Talk about Monet and Monet's
yes.
palette, and I'm going to do it with an iPad using Procreate, and it's amazing how much you can learn from the masters, because you can really delve in and see what they did. I have I sort of have a pretty good, it's about Monet as being the forerunner of abstraction, which he was, and why. And we learn a lot. So it's learning from him. It's not painting like him, it's learning from him. And so I have that coming up. You can find that on the website. And then we also are partnered with Pacific Art League. Pacific Art League are partnering with Mobile Art Academy, and we have a big workshop,
conference
art show, which is being juried by two very eminent artists from London. Just talking to them before this. You can find out all about it on the website, which is MDAC, Mobile Digital Art and Creativity, mdacsummit.org, or it'll soon be on the PAL website. So watch for it on PAL. And
Caroline,
yeah.
it's an art show, but it's also like a weekend of workshops, which I find incredible.
Art show, we have a digital opening, like an online opening on the 26th of June. And it's followed by 2 days of workshops, one of them with a really great artist called Jeremy Sutton from San Francisco. We're going to do he's got a live model. We're going to do live, drawing. We've got somebody that does amazing calligraphy, different artists. We've got a very, very good artist from Great Britain who'll be doing and there's like 6 seminars, 45 minutes each, and it'll all be recorded. So if you can't make everything or you get tuned out, you can still get the recording. And I'm trying to do my 6-minute talk in the elevator, my elevator chat.
Your elevator pitch.
We'll find out more, but we're very excited. That'll be an international affair, and some of you have been to them before, so you know how fun they can be. And I know Kim is one of our great people, so I'm looking forward to getting. And so, but mainly what I wanted to do with this is just invite you as artists to learn this tool. I know Linda Palmore is really learning. She came to my first class. Linda, would you like to say a little bit about how you've learned as an artist? Linda's a traditional painter.
Yeah, I've learned a ton about how to use Procreate and apply all those layers to come up with some really fancy things. Caroline's a great teacher. We covered a lot of material in 5 classes. And so I signed up for the next one because I understand it's going to be more about using Snapseed and applying it to paintings as opposed to just learning the tool. But if I tried to use Procreate on my own, I bought it, I took a couple of things, messed them up, didn't know what I was doing. It is just such a powerful tool. It really helps have someone lead you through it, so at least you understand the basics from which you can explore more.
Awesome. And I'd like to also hear from Cheryl, because she was also has learned a lot from both mediums. So Cheryl, would you like to say something?
It just can be so overwhelming for someone who doesn't really understand color and such. And to see you just say, well, what if you did this, or what if you did that, or what if you added, without having to mess up your canvas, is just so freeing. I think that's been the most amazing thing. And when you do it in the class, it's so visual and immediate that you see what the words and the picture in your mind all comes together. So
Kim,
I really love it.
Right. Kim, can you say a few words, and then I'll have Linda Philo say a few words.
Gosh, it was eye-opening for me. This maybe not from an art standpoint, but the immediacy of, I feel like painting something, and there's no mess, and I can do it if I'm waiting at the airport, or if I can't sleep, or if the television show I'm watching is boring. One of my best sketches I've done so far is of my feet crossed in front of me in front of the television. I'm more of an illustrator than I am a painter. And so Caroline's education about, what she just showed us about how to pick the pure colors, because my stuff was always muddy looking, and it still is. I still fight with that. But it is just, the other best thing is you can keep every single version that you experiment with in different layers and just turn them on and off. And sometimes things that look terrible on one day work perfectly in the next painting. So I'm often going back and copying some of my earlier work into a new painting. So that's fun too.
Awesome. Linda Philo, I haven't seen you for a while, but you're a traditional artist as well as a very good teacher and everything. And you came to my iPad classes. How does it all impact together?
Yes, I learned so much from you. I had never been on an iPad doing iPad art, and I took 3 or 4 of your classes, and my whole idea was to take what I learned from you and take it to the high school, and so that worked. Now I'm teaching, I've taught the class for 2 years in the high school level, and it's great to incorporate and see the students use it back and forth with their like you did the Monet thing with using traditional art and the iPad art. But the high schoolers are taking it even further with animating the art. So they make everything move on the iPad, including your paintings. And that's kind of beyond me, but I'm learning from them too. But thank you so much for teaching me, Carol. You'd be great.
Love it. Linda, lovely to see you. Well, guys, it's been amazing. Anybody want to say something or ask it? It's over to you, Ali. You're the, we've gone way over time. I appreciate you sticking around as I yap on.
And I just want to thank you, Caroline. I'm sure we can convince you to come back because you're quite the hit, so thank you. And you do have classes and workshops. I know the workshops I'm still adding to the website, so just stay patient. Caroline seems to produce more classes than I can keep up with, so I'm trying. And we have another speaker tomorrow, which I'm very excited about, Xiang Yang, and she'll be talking about and doing a demo on Chinese brush calligraphy.
Wow.
There is no requirement to know Chinese, so don't let that be a barrier. And she's a new instructor at PAL. We're so excited. So please come and enjoy it. And then back again, we have Robert Dvorak on Thursday. He'll be doing travel drawing and sketching again. It's been a hit. And he's at 1:30. So Jiang is tomorrow's at 10:30 and Robert is Thursday at 1:30. And thank you. It's only Tuesday. All right, well, thank you everyone. Again, if you have questions, you can email me or email Caroline. And Caroline, what's your website so people can see your work?
My name, Caroline Mustard, like Colonel Mustard, CarolineMustard.com. And I have a digital gallery in there so you can see my digital work. And then I got current work. I don't know that it's totally up to date. I don't think it is, but pretty much. And then acrylic, gouache, etc., and drawing.